Hello, and welcome to my review of the Maserati Gransport. Now, I know you already have two questions. Who is this weird dude talking to, and why is this not a Gransport? Well, I'm Jack Booker, and before we can dive into the Gransport, we have to start here. This is where it began, and this was Maserati's return to the American market after an 11-year hiatus. They said V8 rear-wheel drive, that's a recipe for success. Unfortunately, it was largely unimpressive. The styling is questionable, the handling is not very good, and it has the infamous F1 transmission with paddle shifters. Luckily, a few years after this came out, Maserati decided to make the Gransport. They changed the looks a little bit, the performance a little bit, and it made a huge difference. And I know it doesn't really look like it, but listen to this. And now, listen to this. Okay, so what? It has a better exhaust note. In the end, the Gransport only has 5 more horsepower than the Coupe or Spider. Not that big of a difference. But the last thing that this car needed was more power. What it really needed was better handling. The Skyhook suspension is a dramatic improvement. It's constantly monitoring the road as you're driving and adapting to your driving style. It has normal mode and sport mode, which can make it more comfortable or more sporty. You know, these are normal things nowadays. But it also has anti-squat and anti-dive technology, meaning when you slam on the brakes, it's not going to actually throw you forward. And when you floor it, it's not going to really throw you backward. Yes, you're going to be able to feel some of that, but all in all, it makes it handle way better. Okay, so it's a little bit faster, it handles way better, but what about the transmission? I mean, it still has the flappy paddle gearbox. Well, they remapped the ECU. They made it shift faster, they made it feel sportier, and it's a great improvement as well. When I compare this to my wife's Lexus RC350, this is a much older car, but it shifts about as fast. I will admit that this is supposed to, it's an auto manual, it's not some novelty thing, but it does a pretty good job, especially considering the age of the car. So the Gransport is much better than the Coupe and Spider. It's even better than the Porsche Carrera S it was competing against whenever it came into production. And you may not agree with me, but Richard Hammond does. You see, the Gransport fixed all of the issues with the Coupe and Spider. The transmission is much improved, the handling is superb, and it looks better. Now, it may not surprise you that this is more rare than the Porsche Carrera S, but what if I told you it's more rare than the Ferrari F430? Yes, that's not a true Ferrari engine in there, but it was designed by the same people as the 430, and this is more rare. And while the prices of the Porsche and the Ferrari are climbing as we speak, you can find a very good one of these for under $30,000.